How can a store sell staples like eggs for 99 cents, chicken for $1.99 a pound, and undercut nearly every competitor by 10 to 15%, yet turn razor-thin profits into $600 billion in annual sales? Walmart's notorious everyday low prices seem impossible on paper, but the company's true power runs much deeper than the price tag, revealing a business model that rewrites the rules of retail. How does relentlessly selling for less end up building one of the world's biggest fortunes? The answer begins with the real story behind their hidden cost advantages. Most grocery chains cut a rent check to a landlord every month. Walmart, on the other hand, usually owns the ground beneath its stores, about 90% of its US locations. This approach started decades ago, when Sam Walton and his team targeted cheap land on the edge of small towns and growing suburbs, far from the high rents of city centers. Instead of paying ever-rising rent, Walmart locks in low costs for decades, turning each store into a long-term asset. Real estate analysts estimate that if Walmart leased its supercenters at typical market rates, it would pay close to $1 million a year in rent for each one. By owning the land and buildings, Walmart avoids around $700,000 in rent per store annually, even after accounting for taxes and upkeep. Over thousands of stores, that is billions of dollars in savings every year. Meanwhile, the Walmart effect pushes up nearby property values, quietly growing the company's real estate portfolio. This hidden advantage is a foundation for the low prices on Walmart shelves. Walmart's supply chain is a machine built for speed and scale. Across the United States, more than 100 massive distribution centers form the backbone of a hub and spoke network, with over 150 facilities worldwide. Each center feeds around 100 stores within a tight radius, allowing trucks to run full and routes to stay short. The real magic happens at the loading docks. Instead of letting products sit in warehouses for days, Walmart uses cross-docking. Goods are unloaded, sorted, and often reloaded onto outbound trucks in less than 24 hours. This rapid flow slashes storage costs by as much as 90% compared to traditional warehousing. Freshness improves, spoilage drops, and less cash is tied up in inventory. Proprietary logistics software tracks every shipment, optimizing truck routes down to the mile. Industry analysts estimate Walmart spends about 3 to 4% of sales on transportation, roughly half what many competitors pay. Moving goods this quickly and efficiently is not just a technical feat. It is a structural advantage that keeps costs low on every item in the store. A supplier executive describes the math with a blunt shrug. For many major brands, Walmart is the single largest customer, often accounting for 10 to 20% of total company sales, and sometimes a quarter or more of U.S. business in staples like detergent or breakfast cereal. That volume gives Walmart bargaining power most companies never see. It does not negotiate in the usual sense. Buyers present a target price, sometimes demanding annual cost reductions or changes to packaging and delivery, and suppliers face a simple choice: meet the terms or risk losing the business. Vendors who want to stay on the shelf must adapt to Walmart's systems, specific pallet sizes, labeling standards, and strict delivery windows. Miss a delivery or get the barcode wrong and penalties follow. Many suppliers have built warehouses or even factories near Walmart distribution centers just to keep up. The cost of these adjustments, packaging redesigns, logistics upgrades, and compliance with Walmart's on-time and full standards comes out of the supplier's margins, not Walmart's. For some companies, the pressure pays off in scale. For others, it means thinner profits or a retreat from the business. But in every case, Walmart's scale lets it dictate terms that ripple through entire industries, turning supplier cost savings into lower prices at checkout. Store brands are a quiet engine inside every Walmart. Great Value, Equate, and other private label brands generate more than $50 billion a year. Those dollars stick closer to home. While name brands might bring in 10 to 15% gross margin, Walmart's own products often deliver 25 to 35%. The difference is not just in the label. By controlling production contracts and specifications, Walmart can cut out layers of cost, pass some of the savings to shoppers, and keep more for itself. Walk down the dairy aisle, and you will see Great Value milk, eggs, and bread lined up beside national brands, usually priced 20 to 30% lower. For many everyday items, customers reach for the store brand without hesitation, driving up the share of high-margin sales across the store. Behind the scenes, labor is tuned for efficiency, just as tightly as the product mix. The average Walmart associate earns about $15 an hour, a figure that sits above the federal minimum but still below some competitors. The workforce is massive, with over 2 million employees worldwide, yet Walmart keeps a significant share part-time. This approach limits benefit obligations and lets scheduling flex with demand. Turnover is high, around 60% each year among hourly staff, which means most workers do not stay long enough to climb the pay scale. Store managers, balancing payroll against sales targets, rely on automation wherever possible. Self-checkout lanes, shelf-scanning robots, and streamlined inventory systems allow fewer people to move more product. The result is a wage bill that stays lean, even as stores run at full tilt. Together, these levers, house brands, and workforce design widen the margin on every item that leaves the shelf. Frank heads straight for the rotisserie chickens, eyeing the familiar $4.98 price tag. It is a number that barely covers the cost of the bird, the packaging, and the labor to season and roast it. But that is not the point. The chicken is bait. Frank's basket does not stop filling, with a couple bags of chips, a case of water, batteries, a birthday card, and a last-minute bottle of allergy pills. By the time he checks out, his quick stop totals close to $60. This is the trip value play. Walmart willingly loses a few cents on the chicken, knowing that most shoppers will leave with a cart loaded well beyond their original plan. Internal data shows that the average Walmart basket lands around $60, far above the cost of any single loss leader. The psychology is simple. Save big on the chicken and relax on the rest. Behind the scenes, Walmart's inventory does not sit around. Their stores turn over stock 8 to 9 times a year compared to the industry's 5 or 6. That speed is powered by the Retail Link system, a digital bridge connecting Walmart's sales floor directly to its suppliers. Vendors see real-time sales, manage their own restocking, and keep shelves full without overloading the backroom. Every item is tracked, every gap filled, and every trip like Frank's is analyzed to squeeze out more value. The result is less waste, faster turns, and a store that makes money not by marking up chickens, but by multiplying the number of baskets that leave full. Walmart's profit engine doesn't stop at groceries or gadgets. There is a layer of high-margin revenue most shoppers never notice: advertising and marketplace fees. Brands now pay to reach Walmart's enormous customer base through Walmart Connect, the company's retail media network. In 2023, this advertising arm brought in $4.4 billion, revenue that carries margins closer to a software business than a supermarket. On top of that, Walmart's online marketplace quietly collects an 8 to 15% commission from third-party sellers for every item sold. These digital streams add up fast. While they are a small slice of total sales, they deliver profits that punch far above their weight, helping Walmart offset the razor-thin margins on its core merchandise. The result is a business that looks more and more like a platform, where selling shelf space and shopper attention is just as valuable as selling the products themselves. A Walmart Plus membership costs $98 a year. That fee buys free delivery and perks, but the real value is in how it changes shopping habits. Members spend 2 to 3 times more annually than non-members, making each subscriber far more valuable to the company. Multiply that across millions of households, and the numbers swell. Walmart's total revenue now tops $611 billion a year. Even with a net margin of just 2.4%, that adds up to more than $15 billion in profit, about $36 per customer. The math is simple but powerful. When a company moves this much volume, even the smallest percentage turns into billions. Scale is not just a buzzword. It is the answer to how low prices and thin margins can build one of the world's most profitable businesses. Every time you see a price tag at Walmart, you're witnessing the force of scale reshaping retail. As economic pressures mount, their model sets the benchmark and the battleground for how America shops. The real cost is not just in what we pay, it is in what we normalize. What do you notice?